What's up guys, happy new year and welcome back to the channel. It is officially 2020 and we are getting right back into the build with Miss Parker. The plan for today is to relocate the battery, or at least begin the process of relocating the battery. I already pulled it out before I started filming, and I got the battery tray out of there as well. And it's sitting over here on the floor. And then I got the battery box in the hatch, pretty much where I want it to be positioned. So the next step is going to be to drill the holes that hold the battery clamp down into the battery box and then through the floor in the hatch. And then the only issue is that, if you guys are familiar with Fox bodies, right here in this area underneath the hatch is the gas tank. I'm gonna stand over here because over there it's kind of dark and I don't want the lighting to be messed up, but the gas tank is underneath that area. So in order to reach the nuts that I have to use to fasten the rods that hold the battery down, like secure the battery into the battery box and secure the battery box to the hatch, there's like no room to get your hand in there. So I might have to drop the gas tank or lower it a little bit just to be able to reach those nuts. I'm not 100% sure yet, but that's what it's looking like. I already got under the car and checked it out and there's no space to get your hand in there. So I'm most likely gonna have to drop the tank, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So the first thing we got to do though is drill holes into the battery box. So let's get started. All right, so I went ahead and drilled the 2 holes in the battery box, as you guys can see there. And then I went ahead and laid it down where I wanted it to and used a little bit of whiteout just to get, you guys see the 2 little white dots where the holes need to be drilled in the floor of the hatch. And then just to be safe, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and try to lower at least the passenger side of the gas tank. We're gonna loosen all the bolts up and see if it'll come down just a bit without tugging on any of the lines or anything. Just to be safe, because it does appear to have a small gap between the gas tank and the floor of the hatch, but I'm scared. I can't really see up there, so I'm scared if I drill through. I don't think I'll hit the gas tank, but I might hit a line, and that's just as bad. So just to be safe, we're gonna lower the gas tank a little bit, and hopefully that gives us just enough room to be able to see what's going on down there. Here's what I did. I loosened these 3 bolts for the fuel, like fill neck or whatever you want to call it, and then there's 4 bolts back here, 1 2 3 4, that hold on this little rubber gasket for the fuel neck. And then underneath the car, once those 7 bolts were undone, it allowed me to slide the fuel neck out of the tank in that direction, just a little bit, probably not even an inch, maybe like a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch. And then once that was slid out, I also loosened this whole gas tank bracket on the passenger side. I have the jack underneath the fuel tank just in case, but it allowed me to pull down on the tank just enough so I'm able to look up in the area and see a lot better. And I could tell that there is nothing really in the way, like too close to the floor of the hatch. So I think we're good to go to drill the holes. So what I'm gonna do is drill pilot holes very small and very carefully where I need to, and then we'll go under the car and check where the holes ended up, make sure everything looks good, and then we'll drill it with the proper size holes in order to get the battery tie down studs in place. Sorry about that, guys. The battery on the camera died and I didn't have one charged, so it was inside the house charging. But I've been messing with the battery box studs for about 30 minutes now. I got them all the way drilled in, all the way secured in. I got the gas tank all bolted back up the way that it was, and I got the box and the battery all in place, as you guys can see. I know that this bracket is supposed to be flipped over, but it's a little bit short width-wise for the battery that I currently have, but this battery is still good, so I'm not going to replace it for no reason. So I just flipped it over and it works like this. Look, as you guys can see, this is super tight. Like, I'm really shaking it and it's not even budging. What you see budging is just the flex of the battery box, but yeah, it'll hold for now. It's super secure, so I'm not worried about it. The lid will go onto that. Boom, I got the 2 little thumb screws that'll hold that down. So the battery box is installed, boys and girls, and I'm pretty pumped with how it came out. It's chilling. So the next step is going to be to begin running wires. So I guess I'll start with the positive cable. I'll bring that out here in just a sec and we'll run it. I'm gonna run it that way along with the harness that you guys can already see there on the floor. So I'm just gonna run it along the side of that harness. And then when we get up to underneath the dash on the driver's side is when I'll try to find a grommet that I'm going to utilize in order to put it through to the firewall. So that way we can come out here. Actually, I might not even come through the firewall just yet. I think I'm going to go ahead and jack up this side of the car and take the wheel off and the inner liner, because if I'm going to wire tuck all this, it has to go on the inside of the fender, and there might be a grommet on the inside of the fender that I could just pull the positive cable right out of that grommet on the inside of the fender, and it will line up with the starter solenoid, because I'm going to flip that on the inside as well. So I'm hoping that's the case, but I guess we'll see. But what I have to do first is get the power cable to start running it, and then we'll jack up the car and take the driver front tire liner off and see what we got to work with. So here's what we got to work with as far as cables go. That's the vent for the battery box. So here is my ground. Here is my positive. Alright guys, I want to apologize real quick because I have not been doing the greatest job of filming the process of me doing this whole battery relocation thing, and I do apologize for that. But if I filmed every little part of it, it was so much like little intricate stuff that this would have been like a 45-minute video, and I didn't really want to do that to you guys. Also, I'm no professional. This is my first time ever doing this, so I didn't feel like I should give detailed step-by-step instructions on how to do it when I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm kind of just going with the flow. So besides all that, guys, one thing kind of led to another, and look at this. Wait, what's up? That's right, that whole bowl of spaghetti is completely gone now. So all that we have left to do up here is I have to lengthen the alternator cable because it doesn't reach where I need it to go. The ground I have to shorten and attach a terminal, and I'm going to bolt it to the sway bar bracket underneath for ground. Once that's extended, that's good. The MSD box thing right here, I don't really know what that's called. I got the two power and negative cables coming up through a little hole on the strut tower frame or whatever, coming out. So that looks super clean. That's literally all you see, and you won't see this cable when I'm done because I'm gonna run it down and through there. And then guys, you heard the sigh. It was a big sigh because you guys remember, you guys can reverse or rewind the video and see how messy the wires were in there, but taking all that apart and getting it tucked into the fender was a whole job in itself. But we're finally getting somewhere, and I want to show you guys this. So when you look under here, boom, I got the starter solenoid mounted on the inside with all the wires. That is the power cable already ran through. I was originally going to try to go through this grommet here, but while I was underneath the dash, I realized that there was a grommet right next to it. Let me get a better view on that for you guys. Right there. It's right next to the oval looking grommet. And what I did was it wasn't in use. It wasn't in use. So I just popped it out. I drilled the hole a little bit bigger, put a grommet that the battery relocation kit came with in its place, and then ran the power cable right through there. So that worked out perfectly. And then, oh, let me show you up here. Okay, so there was like two halves of the harness. The first one kind of comes straight out, and instead of trying to get both of them through this little hole on the side here, which is what I did on the passenger side over there, if you guys remember, I went straight with the first harness, and it just goes straight into, it's kind of hard to see. Sorry guys, I'm trying to give you the best visual possible here. It goes straight in to the strut tower, whatever, if you guys can see that. It goes straight in right here, boom. And then the other one, I went through the side hole that I used originally on the passenger side. So if you look under here, one of the harnesses, the one that goes straight, comes right here. The other one comes out of here. So I did that because to try to run them both through the same hole would have been very difficult, because it's tough to get all these cables and the cable endings and connections through those holes. So I decided to run them through two separate holes, and then they link back up in here. All that, what did I do over here? I had to pull the whole harness that was here for the headlights and stuff out, and then I ran it through. There it is, the inside, and then it goes on the inside and then goes into that corner, which meets up with the rest of the stuff down here. As you can see, I already got this stuff all plugged up. So yeah, to say the least, guys, I've been pretty busy, and it's rained on and off a few times. I've had to pack everything up and then come back out, so that's kind of a pain in the butt. But yeah, we've made some pretty good progress, guys. I am stoked. So all we have left to do in here, like I said, is we have to add a connecting end to this so we can ground it. This one has to get lengthened so we can connect it to the starter solenoid. These are just grounds that I'm going to bolt down in here somewhere. And then let me show you what we got going on in the trunk, or the hatch, excuse me. Whew, it's been a long day, boys. So here I went straight out with the ground through the box, and then right next to it I got this little vent hose, and then they come straight out and straight down. Jesus Christ, that scared me. I put 2x4s on the roof of the car so the wind doesn't take the cover off as it's doing, and it just fell, and that scared the heck out of me. But anyway, so they run straight down the vent, the ground, through the floor of the hatch. And then I haven't done this yet, but you guys will see in here, here's the vent, and here is the ground that has to get cut. I have to add a terminal end to it, and I'm going to bolt it right to that, which is the quad shock bracket that holds it to the frame. So that should be good. If I pull that bolt out, I'm going to clean it up, mount it right there. That should be a good ground. And then as far as the power cable, or the positive line, whatever you want to call it, that's going to go plugged in there, comes out the side of the box. I have it run down here right now. I haven't finished this because, like I said, I just got a lot on my plate right now, so to finalize all this at the moment is not really a concern of mine. But it goes down. I'm going to have it ran on the wheel well, like so. It's going to be boom, 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 boom. It comes out there. Lift this up for you guys. It comes down in here. I have it just zip tied to the harness that was already here. It goes under it there, you guys can see it, and then it goes ran up into that little grommet that I showed you guys originally right there. So yeah, I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious. So I'm gonna go to the back, get started. I'm not gonna film me take the tire off the car. You guys have seen me do that a million times. But I'll start recording again once we are trimming the cable to length and whatnot. All right, now that we got a better look in here, here's the ground. Here's this vent cable, which I'm probably just gonna cut a little bit shorter. And then this guy, I am going to cut, add the ending to it, and then get it to attach. We're all blurry. How long has it been blurry for? Right here. I'm gonna pull this bolt out, clean it off, put it back, and then put the tire back, and we should be good to go for ground as far as back here where the battery is. Like I said, I still have to connect ground up at the front, as well as lengthen the cable for the alternator, which I don't have with me, so I'm gonna have to go to Advanced for that, and I'm not trying to go there today, so that's why I'm just getting this done right now. So let's take some measurements and cut the ground cable. Cool. All right, boys and girls, here's a little tip when working with a torch by the gas tank. Use this piece of metal just to make sure we're not getting flame anywhere near the tank. Because the last thing we want is the whole car to go up in flames right now. So that's what the end result of that's gonna look like. Super clean. A little bit hot, but super clean. So now I'm going to focus on getting this bolt out and cleaning up the area so we can permanently mount the new ground. Check it out. Boom, and it goes up. So that's perfect. Look at it from in here. Boom. Super clean. Now we just got to get this tire back installed, and I am done for the day.
Tomorrow.
All right, boys, I went ahead and picked up all the extra supplies I needed from Advance the other day. So now we got the block grounded, we got the longer alternator cable, and that's routed to the starter solenoid. So I still got some grounds here that I haven't grounded. I'm gonna ground in here somewhere. I also have to extend one plug that didn't really fit, but I don't think this has to do with the car starting. It might, I'm not sure. I think this might have to do with like headlights and stuff. But I think we might be ready to test fire to see if this thing is working. I hope so. That's what we're gonna do now. We got the fire extinguisher on standby. The battery is plugged in. So let's see if this works. Looking good, boys. Hell yeah. What a relief. I am so pumped right now. The battery is officially relocated and the car turned on, so we got everything plugged in the right way again. So I am super pumped because when I first attempted to test it, I had one plug that I didn't extend yet, not plugged in, but I didn't really know what it was going to, and the car didn't want to turn on because the fuel pump wasn't cycling. And turns out it was that little switch that I didn't, or the plug that I didn't have connected. So I extended the plug, plugged it in, attempted it again, and the fuel pump cycled. So when I turned on, the car turned on. So I'm super, super excited right now, guys. Hell yeah. And it looks so clean now. Well, besides the nasty paint, but hell yeah. Oh, let me take the key out. Yes, bro. Well, that's that, boys. The battery relocation was a success, and I am super pumped. When I first started this video, I didn't initially think that I was going to be wire tucking all of the wires on the driver's side, but it just made sense the more and more that I looked at it, because I had to route the power cable in through the side of the fender where I showed you guys, and that popped out like right where I needed to move the starter solenoid, so it didn't make sense to try to run the power cable through the fender to the starter solenoid just for the time being. So I was like, you know what, let's just put in work, get all of the wires tucked into the fender, the wheel well area, and that way the starter solenoid will be tucked in there and I can run the power cable straight to it. So that's why I decided to just go ahead and wire tuck the driver's side at the same time while I was relocating the battery. And it was a lot of work. I was a little overwhelmed for a second. I was kind of doubting myself, thinking that I wasn't going to be able to get the car to turn on again. But yeah, you guys just saw it. So Miss Parker fired right up and everything is good to go. Obviously, I still have to like heat shrink a couple wires, finalize some grounds, clean up some areas, tape some wires. So just basically clean everything up before I put the wheel well back into place. But I am not going to film any of that because that's super boring stuff. So yeah, I'm just going to clean up everything that I've done to make it look super neat and organized, and then put the wheel well back in, put the tire back on, drop the car back to the ground, and Miss Parker will be complete, and the battery relocation and wire tuck will be finished. And that is a huge step forward in the right direction, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I've said earlier, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, just drop a comment down below, guys, and I like to read the comments. It's just motivating. I like it. It's cool. So yeah, drop a comment down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Be easy.